Yeah, like I said, in this world, or in this universe, we are a member of a community. However, the places that are out there, we have probably never, or it's been in so long, the earth has destroyed itself and repaired itself a couple of different times over. It's been that long since any type of sentient being. They say about the missing link, oh, there's a missing link. And humans are the missing link, but there's a portion where what happened, before and after. There's no gradual uptake of what, from Cro-Magnon to human. Human isn't there. You know why? Because we're not from here. We came here on whatever situation, and we. Whatever their agenda was, some say it was genetic research, genetic programming, genetic alterations, making a new type of people. Some say that the Anunnaki wanted people to help with work, and then there was a conflict between a couple of brothers of the Anunnaki, and there was, an uprising and all kinds of crazy crap. Some say that... remember that site where is it too? It's the only site that David Childress says that was actually made to buy extraterrestrials by themselves. Anyway, it's called... no, it's the big one with the big squares that couldn't be cut from any land.
Oh, Puma.
No, Pumapunku.
No,
Is it Pumapunku? It is. It's Pumapunku.
Yes, it is.
So Pumapunku is the area there. I believe that that's either where they landed, or they come from, or they tried to build a place to launch from again, because they did come here. There's a story in the Bible about these angels or whatnot. I bet you, the Nefertiti, something like that. Anyway, it's in one of the stories surrounding the early times prior to the Great Flood and stuff like that. Sodom and Gomorrah time, around there in the Bible. And basically, yes, it says that... it says that, there was, anyway, I lost my train of thought on that one, but, what am I saying here?
Aliens landed in Pumapunku.
Yeah, well, there was evidence there that it was some kind of launching site, or landing site, or divisional building, but it was mainly extraterrestrial. Anyhow, what I believe... in all my heart of hearts, is that yes, our Earth was created the way it was created, and all that crap, and all this, okay, we're over all that, right? We got all that down pat. Now we got to figure out where we came from. You know where we came from, and all the indications say Orion's Belt. If we were to get out there somehow, some way into that solar system, I'm sure there's a planet like this that we are very familiar with, based on genetics. I'm sure. I bet you that's where the Anunnaki came from. I bet that's where humanoids landed on this planet long ago. Were unable to leave. There was a division of them. They were all different. I'm sure that's why the races are different. There was definitely a difference in the people that were here from space, and that's where you get the different races and stuff, and the Inky and Elil, is it? They have there's stories about these guys. They were Anunnaki. They basically, one loved mankind, one did not, and they had conflict in that sense. Basically, I'm not exactly sure how the story goes afterward. However, these guys were either gods or were the right hand of gods and created a. I think one of them basically stood up for mankind, and mankind survived somehow. But there's some question about genetically altering what's here as servants at some point too, through the Anunnaki. And basically, I don't know where the frick we come from, but I know it wasn't Earth. I know we live here now because we grew here. But we're not from here. There's no other animals like us on this planet. And no other animals even have our correct DNA. There's no other animals that are DNA linked to us. None. None. Everything else can be linked to something, DNA-wise. That's from here. But us, we're not from here. We're from what they say, which is the Orion's Belt, that solar system, from some type of M-class planet. And, for lack of a better motherfucking term, man, Star Trek was real. He wants to get these starships pumping now so we can get out there. I don't know how things work. But Werner von Braun had a good idea. He was able to create a ring that proposed the ability to use inertia as a artificial gravity, which seemed appropriate. The man knew what he was talking about. I think that's worth trying out. Basically there's no friction in space. Why aren't we using sound to move our asses? Like, I can definitely play a guitar. Put me up there and I'll sing. Bitches, we'd be moving like a motherfucker in about 20 minutes. We'd be there. You know what I mean? But for real though, sound waves, sound carrying waves. Why can't we use them? Why can't we use things such as plasma? Why can't we use things such as, the release of oxygen, the release of water? Water has to have some type of property as it's being destroyed by the environment. It has to go into something. What about antimatter? What about this Higgs boson particle? I don't know. All I know is that I don't really believe wholly in anything that got to do with, I'm going to go to anywhere else but dead when I'm dead. However, I do know that if I got on a spaceship and started flying, I'd go somewhere. But I'd die, obviously. But if we were in something that could sustain us, and obviously we're talking about a giant thing, like a building. Why can't we put a building in space and then start propelling it? We need a community in space so that we can get to where we're going and still be alive. We need to move our asses because there's an awful lot of people right now. And these people, they're going to keep on growing. And we don't have the space. And I don't think my dog wants to share anything. Especially his food.
Your dog just chewed up his last toy.
Anyhow, people, that's just a few thoughts I got. What do you think, Allison?
Yeah.
Yeah? Are you sure about that?
Chewed up his last toy.
He chewed up his last toy?
Yeah.
He's never going to get any more toys.
Well, I gotta buy him some because he chews them all up.
It is true. But, I don't know. And it makes complete sense. If we were to build a community, for lack of a better term, a community in space, so that, we could have multiple births, multiple marriages, multiple families, multiple happy lives, job creation, mental health, medical supplies, medical people, like we could have a community in a building in space. Why couldn't we? I know there's dangers, but there was dangers when who was it? Clark decided to hitch up a few horses and get on the road to the west. It was dangerous when my greatest grandfather Thomas Dakin decided he wanted to go from Scotland to Maine. Fortunately we got dropped off on Newfoundland, but which makes me very grateful to be a Canadian. But what I'm saying is that if we weren't explorers, if we weren't able to take a risk, if we weren't, if we were a bunch of cowards, then yeah, I'd say go home, forget all about it, and say fuck it. But you know what? That's not going to work. There's peoples that we've never met, never seen, can't even imagine. There's worlds out there that just go beyond anyone's thought processes. It puts 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea by Jules Verne blows it out of the water. We're talking about space exploration. We're talking about making our minds just gulp the fact that we do have the ability and we do know and can accept at this point that it's inevitable. There are peoples or somewhat like humanoids out there in this world. If there isn't out there in this universe, if there wasn't, then it would be a pretty small universe. And, if we're talking about light speed travel, that's never going to happen at this point until we get the right technologies. However, there is no friction in space. We could propel ourselves and gradually get up to a speed where it's comfortable, where we could have a few children and they could carry on our quests. Before that, I don't know what else to say other than that's all there is to it. And you're going to have to put up with are we there yet a whole lot. And if that's what we got to do to get to somewhere else to make sure that our species survives and our messages are brought and our lives are shared with whomever we can share them with, which is an appropriate thing for humans, I think, then it's not going to be satisfactory. We're just going to end up as nothing. Just a parasitic humanoid species that died out because we fucking raped the planet way too much and didn't have the gumption to get off our asses to even explore. So, to you guys, fuck you. And to everybody else out there who has the same opinion as me, woohoo! Mikey says that too. Peace. Actually, live long and prosper.